Hello guys, welcome to our first video on indefinite integrals. So for this video, I'll show you 6 simple examples on indefinite integrals. So in solving indefinite integrals, you have first to rewrite the equation para mahimo siyang or para maging simpler siya tingnan. Then second is you have to integrate. You are now to integrate your function. And third is to simplify your final answer. So let's dive in immediately to our first example. So for our first example, we have here a very simple problem. Okay, number 1 is us to integrate cube root of 3, cube root of x dx. Cube root of x dx. Okay, so first you have to rewrite the equation to make it simpler or para masimple siya tingnan. So, pwede natin yung isulat as x raised to 1/3 dx. So, di ba, mas simple siya kaysa dito na merong radical sign. So, looking at this function, you can now solve it immediately because on the basic formulas of integration, which you have to memorize or at least familiarize, ay merong ganito, x raised to n plus 1 over n plus 1 plus c. If you are asked to integrate x raised to the n. So, in this case, our x is this one and our n is 1/3. So, by using this formula, you just have to add 1 to your n, which is in this case is 1/3, all over your n plus 1. Now, let's solve the problem. Let me first change the color. Okay, so it will now become, so if you will integrate your function, mawawala na itong integral sign. So, it will become x 1/3 plus 1 over 1/3 plus 1 and plus c. So don't forget to put plus c because c stands for an arbitrary number because we are dealing with indefinite integrals. So you have to, after integration or after you integrate your function, what you have to do is the third thing, which is to simplify your final answer. So the final answer, if you still remember your algebra, you have to remember your algebra because it helps us in simplifying our final answer. So 1/3 plus 1, or you can just use your calculator, that is 4/3. So we can rewrite it as x over 4/3, as well as our denominator is also 4/3 plus c. But then this is not yet the final answer dahil kailangan natin siyang i-simplify na napakasimple lang yung tingnan, which is in this case, 4/3 na denominator natin makes it complicated to look at. So, kailangan natin i-simplify to. So, based on your previous algebra previously, we can simplify this one by writing, we put 3 on the numerator, and or we can put 3 beside our x, 4 over 3, and put 4 on the denominator. Then, of course, we have to put plus c, which stands for our arbitrary number. So now, this is our final answer for our first example. Okay, so maybe some of you will have an answer like 3/4 x 4 over 3. So this one is also correct. Okay, plus c. So you can rewrite that one like that. Now let's move to our second example. So for example number 2, we have integral of 1 over 4 x squared dx. So as you can see, this is a fraction. So we have first to rewrite it para mas madali siya tingnan. So, mas simple siya tingnan. And 1 over 4 x squared, we can rewrite that as 1/4 x raised to -2 dx. Or para mas madali siya talaga tingnan, simpler siya tingnan, you can rewrite it like that. Okay? So, we are first rewriting our function. Kasi 1/4 is a constant, and if we are to integrate a constant together with your variable x, in this case, ay pwede nating i-set aside muna si 1/4. So, pwede natin, before we integrate, we can set aside 1/4 sa left side ng integral sign and write x minus 2 or x raised to negative 2 dx. Ayan, as you can see, napakasimple na lang niya tingnan. As we all know, we can now integrate that directly because meron tayong x n plus 1 over n plus 1 plus c. And as what I've said, lagi kong pinapaalala that you have to know or familiar your basic integration formulas. So, let's now solve the problem. We can integrate that one directly. So let's write 1/4. Now the integral of this one is x raised to negative 2 plus 1 because your n here. So negative 2 is our n plus 1 over negative 2 plus 1. Then of course we have to put our arbitrary constant c. Now we are to simplify this function that will become 1/4. So that's negative 2 plus 1. So that is x minus 1 over negative 1 plus c. Now negative 1, understandable, we have here 1, or we can put 1/4. And 1/4 times the negative 1, we can write it as x negative 1 over negative 4. Right? Or the negative here, we can put it here. Then again, we are to simplify further. So that will become negative. Then, this is negative 1. Your exponent is negative 1. So, for that to be not negative and to make it simpler, mas okay siya tingnan, then we can put 1 over 4 and let's put x raised to the negative 1 on the denominator so that we will not have a negative exponent plus c. So, now this is your final answer for your example, or for our example number 2. So for example number 3, we have integral of 1 over x square root of x dx. Now we have here two x's on the denominator. One is simple x and the other one is square root of x. So we have first to simplify, to rewrite this function para maging simple siya. Again, we have to rewrite. So we can rewrite it as 1 over, we know this is x, and this one, square root of x, is we can rewrite that one as x raised to 1/2. Okay, dx. So, by algebra, we have here same base. This is understandable. May 1 dyan dito, may 1 dito. So, that is same base. If same base, you have to add their exponents. So, that's why x times x raised to 1/2, that is actually equal to x1 plus 1/2, or that is equal to x 3/2. Okay, so because this is understandable, may 1 dyan. So, let me write 1 with a different color. So, understandable, may 1 dyan. So, that's why we have 1. So, 1 plus 1/2 is 3/2. So, we can rewrite it as 1 over x raised to 3/2 dx. So, after rewriting our function, we can now integrate it. So, that is now equal to, so this is x raised to 3/2 in your denominator. So, we will transfer this one to our numerator. So, if you will transfer a function from the denominator to your numerator, the exponent will become negative. So, we will rewrite it again. It will become x raised to negative 3/2 dx. Now again, using the basic formula of integration, if we will integrate that one, that will become x negative 3/2 plus 1 over negative 3/2 plus 1 plus c, of course. Now, we will simplify our answer. negative 3 halves plus 1, that is equal to x raised to 1 half, and that is negative, so that is minus raised to negative 1 half over negative 1 half. Okay, plus c. But hindi pa yan tapos because we have to simplify it. The negative 1 half here, we can rewrite that one as square root. Okay, but that is negative 1 half ang exponent mo. So you have to transfer it to your denominator, and your denominator also is negative 1 half, just like the previous example. This one, the second example, na we can, ito ba yun? Okay, this one pala, number 1. If we have 4/3 here, we can bring the 3, which is the denominator of the fraction in your denominator, to the numerator. So this 2, we can bring 2 here, and we can bring this whole function because it has a negative exponent dito sa baba. And we will now have our final answer, which is, because that is negative 2 over square root of x plus c. So this is now your final answer for example number 3. Now let's move to example number 4. So for example number 4, we have integral of x times x cubed plus 1 dx. So if we will simplify, if we will rewrite this function, what you have to do is to distribute your x. This one, multiply it here and multiply it to your second term within the parenthesis. So it will now become x raised to the 4th power plus x, because times dx. Because if we will multiply the same bases, in this case x, your exponent will be added together. So we have here 1 plus 3, that's why you have here 4. Okay, so now we can integrate our function directly because as you can see, it is addition. So we can separate each function. We can have integral of x to the 4th dx plus the integral of x dx. Okay, so the integral of that one is, we have the integral of x to the 4th is x 4 plus 1 over 4 plus 1 plus the integral of x is of course x 1 plus 1 over 1 plus 1. Then we have here capital C, which is our arbitrary constant. Now we are to simplify our final answer. That's x raised to 4 plus 1, so that is x raised to 5 over 5 plus x squared over 2 plus c. Now you have your final answer for our example number 4. Okay, so now let's proceed directly to our example number 5. Example number 5 is the integral of 1 over 3x squared dx. So in this case, as you can see, ang squared, within it is 3 and x. Dito, sa example number 2, ang x squared, ang squared niya ay sa x only. 4 is not included. However, in this case, for example number 5, it is parenthesis 3x raised to 2. And therefore, we can, or it means that's 3x times 3x. Okay? So that's 3x times 3x dx. So we can directly multiply 3x times 3x. So that is integral of 1 over 3 times 3, that's 9. Again, we are to multiply x, same basis. We have to add the exponent, that's 9x squared dx. Now we have here 1 over 9, which is 1 over 9 is a constant. Then we can set that aside to the left side of our integral sign. So that is 1 over 9 integral of 1 over x squared dx. Now this is our x squared is on the denominator, so we can move that up to our numerator, making the exponent negative. So it will become 1 over 9 integral of x negative 2 dx. And now we can integrate this one directly. Copy 1 over 9. And that is x negative 2 plus 1 over negative 2 plus 1. Okay, plus c. And we can now simplify our answer. That will become, okay, so that will become, I'll just make an arrow, 1 over 9. This is x raised to negative 1 over negative 1 plus c. Of course, there's a lot of negative. We can still simplify it to make it simpler. So we can rewrite it as is equal to 1 over, because that's 1 over 9. So of course, we have here 9. And our x has a negative exponent. To make it positive, we have to put it on the denominator, making it x here. And this is negative, so that's negative 1 over 9x plus c. So this is now our final answer for our example number 5. So for our last example, example number 6, we have integral of 1 over x multiplied by fifth root of x dx. So same with our example number 5. Number 5, that's 3x squared. So same here, you have to multiply because that is, okay, same with our example number 3, that's x times square root of x. In this case, it's x times the fifth root of x, wherein we can rewrite that one as 1 over x times x raised to 1/5, because the fifth root is 1/5. Okay, so dx. So if we will multiply the same bases, their exponent will add together. So we will add the exponent, it will become 1 over x, 1 plus 1/5. So 1 plus 1/5 is 6 over 5. So that will become 6/5. Okay, 1 times 5 is 5 plus 1. That's 6/5 dx. And we have here our function x, 6 to the 5th on the denominator. We can move it up to the numerator, making your exponent negative. So we can rewrite it finally to x raised to negative 6 over 5 dx. And by that, we can now integrate directly our function and becomes x raised to the negative 6 over 5 plus 1 over negative 6 over 5 plus 1. Of course, don't forget to put plus c, which is your arbitrary function. Without plus c, your answer is wrong because we are dealing with indefinite integrals. So negative 6 fifth plus 1, that is that's x raised to, okay, negative 1/5. Okay, over negative 1/5 plus c, and we still have to simplify our final answer. This is negative 1/5. We have to put x raised to the negative 1/5 below to make the exponent positive. This one also in the denominator. This one, it's negative 1/5. Same with what we did on example number 3, and I think it's number 1. So we are to put this number, okay, wait lang, this one, 5 to the denominator. So it will become, and it's negative, so that is negative 5 over the fifth root of x plus c. So now this is your final answer on our example number 6. And that is the end of this video. See you on our next video.